Persistence is the power that transforms a dream from a whisper into a reality. It is the steel in the spine of the man who refuses to back down. It is the invisible force that pushes you forward when every voice, every circumstance, and every obstacle screams for you to quit. Understand this truth. No dream is too big for the one who decides he will not be denied. The size of your dream does not matter if the size of your will to keep going is greater. The world yields only to those who persist, not to the talented, not to the well-connected, not to the lucky, but to the determined soul who makes up his mind and never lets it go. Persistence is not a gift you are born with. It is a choice you make daily. It is forged in the fire of setbacks, disappointments, delays, and rejections. And it is proven only in the moments when continuing seems impossible. You do it anyway. Greatness never reveals itself to the one who quits halfway. You must go all the way. You must decide here and now that your dream will become a reality, not because of ease or comfort, but because you will not stop until it is so. Your dream does not belong to the one who starts fast. It belongs to the one who finishes, no matter how long it takes. When obstacles appear, they are not signs that you are off track. They are signs that you are on the path that matters. The road to your destiny is guarded by resistance. Most turn back. Most give in to fatigue. Most settle for something less, but not you. You will not stop. You were not made to give up. You were made to endure. You were made to rise. You were made to break through. Every time you keep going when it's hard, you are building the strength to carry what you are destined to receive. Every setback is a test of your will. Every delay is a sharpening of your focus. Every hardship is preparing you to be the kind of person who can handle success without being destroyed by it. The universe does not withhold your dream. It prepares you for it. Success is not about how quickly you arrive. It is about how long you can hold the vision when nothing seems to be working. The man of purpose walks through storms. He is knocked down but never knocked out. He loses battles but never the war. And in time, the mountain yields to him, not because it is weak, but because he is relentless. You must learn to fight without applause, to move without recognition, to work while others sleep, to speak your vision even when your voice trembles, and to keep doing it over and over again, day by day, step by step, until the results cannot be ignored. That is the power of persistence. It does not beg, it does not hope, it demands results through unbreakable effort. When others stop, you must continue. When they doubt, you must believe. When they give up, you must press on. Because in that extra mile, in that last hour of effort, in that final refusal to quit, lies the victory they will never know. And you must understand. That moment when you feel most like quitting is the very moment your breakthrough is near. It is darkest before dawn. It is toughest before the tide turns. And it is hardest right before the dream begins to materialize. Your dream is not too far. It is only waiting for you to become the one who will not quit. Burn the boats behind you. Move retreat as an option. Make a decision that nothing will make you give up. Not failure, not pain, not time, not fear. When you do this, you become powerful. You become dangerous. Because the man who cannot be stopped will not be stopped. No matter how long it takes, you must endure. No matter how heavy it becomes, you must lift. No matter how loud the doubt becomes, you must speak louder with your actions. You are not average. You are not ordinary. You are the exception. The one who keeps going when the rest fall away. Let others explain away their dreams with excuses. But as for you, persist with everything in you. Persist. Because no wall can withstand a man who refuses to stop hammering. No mountain can stand forever in the path of a soul who climbs every day. And no dream can remain a dream when the one who holds it never lets it go. Persist until every barrier breaks. Persist until the vision becomes fact. Until your name is written not in the records of the average, but in the history of those who endured, those who overcame, those who turned obstacles into stepping stones. You were not born to quit. You were born to rise. And rise you shall, because you have chosen the one power that no force on earth can deny, persistence. Every dream is the seed of a reality. This truth is timeless and unchanged. Everything that has ever been built, every empire that has ever risen, every invention that has ever altered the course of mankind, it all began with an idea, a simple thought, a flicker of possibility in the mind of an individual who dared to believe that what they saw in their imagination could one day take form in the world. The mind is the womb of all creation, and dreams are its sacred children. They begin as whispers, quiet, soft, easily ignored. But those who train themselves to listen, who nurture those whispers and allow them to grow, are the ones who shape destiny. A dream is not a mere fantasy. When a person catches a vision, when they hold a mental picture of something they desire to become or create, they have in their possession the raw material of greatness. It is not required that the world sees it. It is not necessary that the people around you understand it. All that matters is that you see it clearly. The power of a dream lies in your ability to behold it vividly, so vividly that it becomes more than a passing thought. It becomes a living, breathing thing within your mind. You begin to walk with it, talk to it, shape it, refine it. And slowly it begins to take shape in your actions, your habits, and your decisions. The mind is a fertile field. It will grow whatever is planted in it, whether that be weeds or wheat, despair or destiny. A person who feeds their mind with bold visions and magnificent ideals begins to align their behavior with those mental images. Your outer world begins to bend to match the image you carry inside. But understand this, your dream will remain in the realm of potential unless you give it clarity. A vague desire produces vague results. A blurred vision yields confusion. But a definite dream, held firmly and clearly in the mind, becomes a force of nature. When your vision is clear, your path begins to reveal itself. The obstacles do not disappear, but they lose their power to stop you. Clarity of vision does more than give you direction. It gives you purpose. It strengthens your will. It simplifies your decisions. When you know what you're aiming for, distractions begin to fade away. The opinions of others lose their sting. The setbacks you face lose their power. You begin to move with a sense of inner authority because you are no longer guessing. You are no longer waiting for someone to give you permission. You have chosen your aim. You have chosen your dream. And because of that, you have stepped into the ranks of the few who shape their fate rather than submit to it. There is immense power in deciding, this is the life I will live. That one declaration, when backed by vision and belief, can shatter limitations. It can bend reality. The world is filled with stories of men and women who began with nothing but a vision. No resources, no education, no support, just an unshakable idea and a relentless will to bring it into being. These individuals are not anomalies. They are not chosen by fate. They are examples of what happens when a person dares to believe that what they see in their mind is more important than the circumstances in front of them. The most dangerous thing a person can do is to dismiss their own vision, to tell themselves that the dream they carry is too unrealistic, too big, or too far-fetched. Because once the seed is planted, once the idea is conceived, to abandon it is to betray your own potential. The seed of your dream has within it the pattern of your future. Just as an oak tree is hidden within the acorn, your greatness is hidden within your idea. It is not yet visible, but it is already real. It does not need validation from others to grow. It only needs your commitment to nourish it with faith, clarity, and action. Greatness never arrives fully formed. It always begins in silence, in solitude, in the quiet chambers of the heart, where no applause can be heard and no spotlight shines. It is in these unseen moments that the seed must be watered with discipline, with learning, with consistency. And if you remain faithful to it, if you treat your dream with the seriousness it deserves, it will begin to manifest itself in ways the world cannot deny. Slowly at first, and then all at once, the world will begin to reflect what you have long held within. You must protect your dream. Guard it from the cynicism of those who have stopped believing. Defend it from the fear that seeks to shrink your ambition. Surround it with the kind of thoughts that breathe life into it, because dreams are fragile in their infancy, but powerful when matured. A single negative voice, if allowed to speak too long in your mind, can choke out the growth of your vision. But a single affirmation, repeated with conviction, can ignite a fire that no obstacle can extinguish. The world responds to those who are bold enough to act as if what they envision is already theirs. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. You begin to speak with confidence. You begin to move with decisiveness. You stop waiting for ideal conditions and start creating them. You stop asking for permission and start taking responsibility. Your dream becomes not just something you think about, but something you live into. You begin to embody it, and by doing so, you accelerate its arrival. Doubt sees only what is. Faith sees what could be. And faith always begins with vision. If you can hold that vision, if you can make it real within before it becomes real without, then no force on earth can keep it from you. That is the law. The world may delay your dream. It may test you. It may challenge your resolve. But it cannot stop you unless you choose to stop. So hold tight to your vision. Refuse to let it go. Refuse to shrink it to fit your current life. Instead, grow your life to match your dream. There will be days when it feels impossible. There will be moments when the gap between your dream and your reality seems too wide. But remember, even the tallest skyscraper began with a single line drawn on paper. Even the most legendary lives began with a single moment of belief. That moment can be now. You don't need anyone to believe it for you. You don't need perfect timing or a perfect plan. All you need is a dream so clear, so strong, that it becomes the compass of your life. Imagination is not a child's toy or a fanciful escape. It is the architect of it. Every bridge that spans a river, every machine that powers a city, every monument that stands tall against the sky was once nothing more than an invisible sketch in the workshop of the mind. The power to create, to innovate, to bring forth that which has never existed, resides not in the hands or tools of man, but in his inner vision. Long before the world witnesses achievement, it is born silently in the cradle of imagination. To imagine is to summon a force more potent than any natural resource, more limitless than any treasure buried in the earth. The mind, when harnessed by the power of imagination, becomes a sacred workshop. Within this workshop, ideas are sculpted, tested, reshaped, and refined. There are no boundaries here, no walls too high, no oceans too wide. Imagination is the one domain where man has complete freedom. No laws of gravity apply. No chains of limitation exist. It is here, in this unseen realm, where all visible triumphs originate. A person who masters the use of their imagination holds the key to transformation. They are not swayed by what is. They are led by what could be. They do not react to the present. They respond to the future they've already visited in their minds. When the world sees obstacles, the imaginative mind sees opportunities. When others accept limits, the imaginative soul dares to ask, what if? What if this not reserved for a select few? It is not gifted only to artists, inventors, or poets. Every man, every woman, every child carries within them the divine ability to imagine. But while all possess it, few exercise it with discipline. Most use it passively, allowing daydreams to drift and fade like clouds in the sky. But the one who chooses to harness it deliberately, to see with clarity the life they wish to live, and to return to that vision day after day, that is the individual who shapes their destiny. The mind cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you consistently picture a goal, an outcome, or a version of yourself that you desire to become, your subconscious begins to accept it as reality. It starts to adjust your behavior, your focus, and your habits to align with that mental image. The more vivid the picture, the stronger the pull. This is not mysticism. It is a law as real as gravity. What you focus on with intensity and emotion begins to materialize in your life. To build a great life, one must first build a great blueprint. That blueprint is formed not on paper, not on screens, but in the mind. See yourself already in possession of your desire. Feel the emotions that would surround you. Hear the voices of congratulations. Taste the sweetness of accomplishment. Walk the rooms of your future home. Shake hands with those you wish to serve. Do not merely hope for it. Live it in your imagination until it becomes a part of you. Until the lines between fiction and faith are no longer distinguishable. Great leaders, trailblazers, and creators have always understood this. They spent long hours in solitude, not in despair, but in design. They closed their eyes and opened their inner vision. They dreamed while others doubted. They constructed cathedrals in their thoughts long before the first brick was ever laid. Their faith was not blind. It was based on the images they forged in the fire of imagination. The man without imagination lives only in reaction. He moves through life responding to what others create, bound by the opinions of the world around him. But the man who cultivates imagination becomes a creator. He becomes the one who designs the narrative, writes the script, and chooses the stage. He no longer waits for opportunity. He manufactures it in the workshop of his mind. There is no innovation without imagination, no growth, no expansion. The moment you stop imagining is the moment you stop evolving, and the future belongs to those who dare to see what does not yet exist and believe in it with such force that they act as though it already does. These are the men and women who change history. They don't follow trends, they set them. They don't wait for doors to open, they build new doors. Your imagination is your spiritual drafting board. Whatever you want to build, a business, a career, a legacy, a better version of yourself, must first be drafted, detailed, and constructed in this invisible space. You must learn to trust it. You must learn to return to it daily like a builder returning to their plans. When others say it can't be done, return to the image. When fear whispers lies, return to the image. When circumstances disappoint, return to the image, because the more you revisit it, the more real it becomes. And once your belief in that image becomes unshakable, your behavior begins to transform naturally. Understand this, you are not limited by your current conditions. You are limited only by the boundaries you place on your imagination. The world you live in today is a reflection of the world you've built internally. If you want to elevate your life, elevate your vision, expand your inner world. Dream so vividly and so often that your vision becomes more real to you than your past. Do not allow your imagination to be corrupted by fear. Fear is simply negative imagination, a picture of what you don't want. If you're capable of imagining your failure, then you are equally capable imagining your success. One paralyzes, the other empowers. You choose the picture you hold. You choose the story you tell. You choose the vision you build within. Let no one tell you it's foolish to imagine things that do not yet exist. Every worthwhile creation once lived only in the mind of its maker. Your imagination is a divine tool, and when used with faith, purpose, and persistence, it becomes a bridge from the invisible to the visible. It allows you to step beyond your current environment and tap into a higher plane of existence, a plane where nothing is impossible and everything is achievable. Nurture your imagination, protect it, train it like a muscle. Use it not just to escape the world, but to change it. Spend time daily in quiet contemplation, seeing your ideal life, your grandest vision. Build it in detail, speak it loud, write it down, act on it, and above all, return to it again and again until what was once only seen in your mind stands before you, undeniable fact. Faith turns dreams into facts. Faith is the foundation upon which all great achievements are built. Without it, the grandest dream remains suspended in thought, untouched by reality. But when faith is present, true, unwavering, fiery faith, it has the power to transform even the most impossible idea into living truth. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is not idle hope. Faith is belief with muscle. It is belief that drives you to act, to endure, to persist until what you saw in the silence of your mind stands fully realized before you. The dream may begin with imagination, but it is only faith that can carry it through the storms of doubt and delay. Every person who has ever risen from obscurity to greatness has first conquered the battlefield within. The world may laugh at your vision. It may call you unrealistic, delusional, or naive. But if you hold that dream with unshakable faith, if you believe in it more than the noise around you, then you have already won the most important war, because the external world eventually yields to the power of inner conviction. The truth is simple. The one who believes most fiercely is the one who lasts the longest, and the one who lasts the longest inevitably wins. Faith is the fuel that keeps the engine running long after the tank should have been empty. It carries you through rejection, failure, ridicule, and defeat when every door seems to shut, when the lights go out, when even those closest to you walk away. Faith keeps you moving. It reminds you that the dream was not given to the world. It was given to you, and that means it is your responsibility to bring it to life. You don't need the world's approval. You need your own conviction. You need to be so convinced of your vision that the thought of quitting becomes more painful than the struggle to succeed. Faith is not blind. It sees more clearly than doubt ever could. It sees not just what is, but what will be. It does not ignore the facts. It simply believes in a higher truth. It says, yes, this is my current condition, but it is not my final reality. Faith allows you to stand in the ruins of failure and still declare victory. It allows you to move forward when your legs are shaking, to speak boldly when your voice trembles, to build when there are no tools in sight. It is the power that whispers to keep going when everything else screams to give up. But faith is not just an emotional feeling. It is a practical force. It must be expressed through action. Belief without action is dead. If you say you believe in your dream, but you do not work for it, sacrifice for it, and push through discomfort for it, then your belief is a lie. True faith makes you move. It stirs something deep inside you that refuses to remain passive. You may not have all the answers. You may not know every step, but when faith is alive in you, you take the step in front of you, and then the next, and trust that the rest will be revealed in time. Faith creates momentum, and momentum creates miracles. When you take action furled by belief, doors begin to open. People you've never met appear with answers. Resources you never expected come to support you. The universe bends to meet the man or woman who walks boldly in the direction of their vision. But this only happens when faith is stronger than fear. Most people allow fear to paralyze. They wait until conditions are perfect, until they feel confident, until everyone agrees. But the man of faith moves before the evidence appears. He does not wait. He acts, and in acting, he makes things happen. Do not confuse faith with arrogance. Arrogance relies on ego. Faith relies on vision. Arrogance is loud and boastful. Faith is quiet and steady. It does not shout, it whispers, but its voice is persistent. And once it takes root in your soul, it will not let go. It will call you out of bed before the sun rises. It will push you to practice longer, study harder, plan deeper, and work smarter. It will not let you settle. It will not let you quit. Faith is not gentle. It is demanding. But it demands only one thing, that you do not give up on the picture you saw when no one else was watching. Every great achievement has gone through a stage where it seemed like it would never happen. That is the test of faith. When the excitement fades, when progress is slow, when support disappears, will you still believe? Will you still show up when there's no applause? Will you still give your best when there's no reward in sight? These are the moments that separate the dreamers from the doers. These are the moments when the dream either dies or is reborn stronger than before. There is always faith. Faith demands endurance. Faith demands endurance. It demands that you keep working even when you're tired, that you keep building even when others have stopped looking, that you keep climbing even when the summit disappears behind the clouds. It is not about speed. It is about stamina. The person who believes will outlast the person who doubts. Because faith does not need proof to persist. It needs only vision and a willingness to keep going. Faith also has a way of infecting others. When a person walks with conviction, when they speak with fire and move with purpose, others begin to take notice. Doubters become curious. Doubters become curious. Skeptics begin to listen. Supporters begin to gather. But none of that happens unless you believe first. The world will not believe in your dream until you do, and they will not believe as deeply as you do. That's why your belief must be strong enough to carry not just you, but everyone who will one day follow your lead. You must become the first follower of your vision. You must be the one who sees it when no one else does, who fights for it when no one else will, who invests in it when no one else believes it's worth a dime. Because in time, that dream, once invisible, once mocked, once doubted, will begin to take shape. It will go from an idea in your mind to a fact in the world, but only if you refuse to let go. Only if your vision is backed by persistence. There is no shortcut. There is no replacement. You can borrow strategies. You can buy systems, but you cannot rent belief. You must generate it yourself. You must nurture. You must protect it from the voices that say, that's not realistic. You're dreaming too big. It's never been done. Because those voices are always loudest right before the breakthrough. The moment when your dream is about to become a fact is often the moment when you feel like quitting. That's when faith must rise higher than ever. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the invisible thread that binds a man to his dream and pulls that dream from the clouds of imagination into the soil of reality. It is not enough to dream. Millions of people dream, wish, and hope, and yet never move an inch closer to their desire. The difference between the dreamers who fade and those who rise is faith. Faith is not merely a belief in the possibility of success. It is a deep, immovable certainty that success is not just possible, it is inevitable when pursued with unwavering devotion. True faith does not require evidence. It does not wait for permission. It does not need applause. Faith sees the result in the mind before it exists in the world. It walks by vision, not by sight. When a person believes in their vision with enough intensity, they begin to move in alignment with it. Their thoughts, habits, actions, and words begin to reflect the outcome they have not yet achieved. That belief, when held over time, creates a magnetic pull, a force so powerful that it draws the circumstances, people, and opportunities required to manifest the dream. But faith is always but past it, always. The one who decides to walk the path of a dream must prepare for trial, resistance, and delay. The world will not roll out a red carpet for your ambition. The winds will blow against you. The nights will stretch long. The failures will mount. And yet in the heart of the person who believes, there is no surrender, because faith is not destroyed by difficulty. It is forged in it. When the believer stumbles, he does not stay down. He does not stay down. He does not question the dream. He does not retreat to come. He stands again, dusts off the doubt, and keeps moving forward. This is the power of faith. It fuels the engine of persistence when everything else has run dry. Faith is active, not passive. It is a force that demands action. The one who truly believes in their dream does not sit back and wait. They rise early. They work longer. They sacrifice more. Their belief becomes evident in their daily decisions. There is a fire in their eyes and a rhythm in their steps. They do not need to convince others. They have already convinced themselves. And that conviction becomes a force of attraction, drawing others into their orbit, inspiring them, challenging them, and even transforming them. The journey from vision to victory is long. It is not paved with comfort. There will be moments when everything you see contradicts everything you believe. Your finances may say it's over. Your environment may look barren. Your friends may suggest quitting. And even then, especially then, faith must stand unshaken. It must declare that what exists in the spirit is more real than what exists in the moment. That what you are building cannot be measured by your current surroundings. Because the man who walks by faith walks with foresight. He does not need the present to confirm the future he has already claimed. This kind of belief is not born in convenience. It is born in clarity. A person must first be clear on what they want and why they want it. Vague goals lead to weak faith, but when the dream is precise, when the vision is sharp, faith has something to hold on to. It becomes a sword in the hand of a warrior. It gives strength in exhaustion. It gives light in the dark. You no longer say, I hope this works, but rather, it's only a matter of time. You no longer ask for validation, because your inner knowing has become louder than the world's opinion. You become calm in uncertainty, powerful in weakness, and unmovable in rejection. Faith makes you a force, not because you're stronger, richer, or smarter, but because you're steadier. Every success story carries the same theme. Someone believed when no one else did. Someone held on when everything screamed to let go. Someone chose to persist, not because it was easy, but because they could not see themselves giving up. This is the effect of faith. It blinds you to defeat. It deafens you to ridicule. It frees you from the need to be understood. You no longer chase the outcome. You become the outcome in motion. The critics will say you're unrealistic. Let them talk. They only speak from their own limitations. The people around you may not see what you see. That's not their job. It's your vision, your dream, your mission. And only you need to believe it fully to begin building. One person with faith is more powerful than 1,000 with opinions. Change with the wind. But faith moves mountains. You must feed your faith moves mountains. You must feed your faith daily. Like a fire, it needs fuel. Read what builds it. Speak what strengthens it. Surround yourself with voices that lift. Protect it from doubt, from fear, from people who've settled for less. Faith is your most precious asset on the journey to achievement. Without it, obstacles are walls. With it, obstacles are stepping stones. Without it, failure is final. With it, failure is feedback. There are moments when you will be all you have. No applause, no momentum, no support. In those moments, faith will ask, do you still believe? Now, your answer will determine your outcome. Because when belief is greater than resistance, the result is inevitable. When your conviction is greater than your crisis, your dream cannot be denied. The world gives its rewards not to the one who started with the most talent, but to the one who refused to stop believing. Skill can be sharpened. Resources can be gathered. But belief must be built from within. When the world says, prove it, faith answers a watch me. And that is how dreams become facts, not through luck or chance, but through relentless belief, walked out day after day against all odds until the world has no choice but to accept what you already knew was true. Oh, thought is the beginning of all creation. It is where vision is born, where purpose takes its first breath, and where imagination builds castles in the sky. But thought alone, no matter how noble, no matter how grand, has no strength in the world until it is clothed in action. Action is the great transformer. It takes the invisible and makes it visible. It converts vague desire into concrete achievement. Without action, the finest thoughts remain trapped in the prison of the mind, powerless to change a single circumstance. But with action, those same thoughts become forces of nature, shaping reality, bending the world to the will of their creator. A dream, no matter how vivid, remains a fantasy until it is acted upon. One may speak of vision, a purpose of destiny, but until effort is applied, those words are like smoke, beautiful but fleeting. Action is what separates the hopeful from the accomplished, the pretender from the producer, the talker from the doer. Everyone has thoughts. Everyone has dreams. You cannot think your way into success. You must move your way into it. You must take the tools of thought and swing them like a hammer against the anvil of effort until results begin to form. Action is not always grand. It does not have to be perfect. It does not require applause. What matters is that you do something today, not next week, not when the timing is right, not when motivation strikes. You must begin where you are, with what you have, and do what you can. The path to greatness is paved not with giant leaps, but with consistent, intentional steps taken again and again. Each action compounds upon the last, creating momentum, sharpening discipline, and building the bridge between where you are and where you wish to be. So many are trapped by overthinking. They wait for clarity, for certainty, for signs from the heavens. But clarity comes through motion. Direction is discovered in the doing. One step forward reveals the next. It is through trial and error, through movement and mistake, that wisdom is gained. Those who wait endlessly for the perfect plan are passed by those who simply begin. You do not need to see the whole staircase. You need only to climb the first step. Fear has a way of freezing the mind. It whispers, "Oh, what if you fail? Oh, what if they laugh? Oh, what if you're not enough?" And so many retreat to the comfort of planning, of researching, of preparing, always preparing, never performing. But action is the antidote to fear. Fear thrives in inaction. It grows stronger the longer you sit still. But the moment you move, the moment you act, fear begins to weaken, because nothing robs fear of its power faster than forward motion. The truth is, you will fail. You will stumble. You will make mistakes. But every successful man and woman has faced those same setbacks. They are not signs to stop. They are signs that you are growing. It is how you test your ideas. It is how you discover what works and what doesn't. Each effort sharpens your focus. Each attempt teaches you something new. In this way, failure is not the enemy. Inaction is. Because inaction guarantees one result. Nothing. There is a power that comes with doing. Those who do this long enough become forces the world cannot ignore. There is no magic to success, no secret code, no overnight result. It is the byproduct of action, intelligent, consistent, determined action. Your thoughts give you direction. Your dreams give you purpose. The truth is, most people quit just before the tide turns. They give up when the pain is greatest, not realizing that they were only inches away from a breakthrough. The night is always darkest before the dawn. The soil is hardest before it breaks open. No one writes history about the person who almost made it. The applause belongs to those who saw the race through to the finish line. And that race is not always won by speed. It is won by endurance, by grit, by the refusal to quit. This is the quality that changes destinies.